Does this make sense to you? Scenario fitting by Sceptikat. Part 5, Running Cover for the Chinese Communist Party. Narrated by Andrew Mather. The origins of the virus. Action if acting in the interest of the population. Seek to understand, make efforts to understand the origins of the virus, communicate honestly to the public. UK government action. Accept and endorse China's narrative. No curiosity about the origins of the virus despite vast amounts of publicly available evidence. CMO inexplicably repeats the CCP's implausible version of the virus origin. Correctly identifying the origin of the virus helps understanding it, predicting it, and treating it. Not to seek this information is inexplicable. Lab-made coronavirus. The fact that the deeper you dive into the research activities of coronavirologists over the past 15 to 20 years, the more you realize that creating chimeras like Cov2 was commonplace in their labs. From Medium.com. Labs around the globe have been creating coronaviruses for years. Here is a gain-of-function coronavirus research paper from 1999. Right in the summary it says, "We constructed a mutant of the coronavirus. This type of research has been going on for a long time." So much so that even the textbook on coronavirus has a whole chapter on artificially manipulating the coronavirus. Modern genetic engineering tools permit cutting and pasting genome fragments without leaving a trace. A 2007 study says, "In this study, we investigated the receptor usage of the SL-CoVS by combining a human immunodeficiency virus-based pseudovirus system with cell lines expressing the ACE2 molecules of human civet or horseshoe bat, i.e. combining the delivery system of the HIV virus with the spike protein of the bat coronavirus." The best-known research paper on manipulating coronaviruses was published in 2015. Using the SARS-CoV reverse genetic system 2, we generate and characterize a chimeric virus expressing the spike of bat coronavirus. The results indicate that group 2b viruses replicate efficiently in primary human airway cells. All this research on artificially creating potent viruses eventually caused an uproar. An experiment that created a hybrid version of a bat coronavirus has triggered renewed debate over whether engineering lab variants of viruses with possible pandemic potential is worth the risks. In fact, the US banned gain-of-function research artificially engineering viruses to make them more deadly and infectious in 2014. After the moratorium in the US, Anthony Fauci, head of the NIH, provided funding to the Wuhan biolab to continue the gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses. In 2019, Fauci committed further funding to the Wuhan lab. Assuming that the virus would have originated in the lab that was doing research on creating exactly such viruses was not a great leap. Already early March, the Express said, "Coronavirus may have originated from two labs conducting research on bats just meters away from the epicenter, one of which has experienced two previous cases of SARS outbreaks, a study has found." Scientific studies on the new virus agreed. The study alleges Covid-19 has inserted sections calling it artificially manipulated chimera made in the Wuhan virology lab and not occurring naturally. He added the belief Covid-19 is the result of gain-of-function studies being conducted in China, saying that both the US and China have been conducting such research for years. But the explanation provided by China differed. They claimed the virus naturally jumped from the horseshoe bat to humans in the Wuhan wet food market. Despite the appealing images of bat soup they circulated, bats were not sold at the wet market in Wuhan. Neither had patient 0 any connection to the wet market. What is more, the horseshoe bat lives deep in caves in Yunnan. almost 2,000 kilometers from Wuhan, and hibernates in winter. So why did the UK government blindly accept the Chinese Communist Party's explanation? Was the information I could easily access by February-March not available to MI6? Did MI6 forget to share information with the government? Why does Chris Whitty continue to repeat the clearly nonsensical Chinese Communist Party propaganda? Not a single question asked by the government's medical advisors about the Wuhan lab's coronavirus gain-of-function research. Why? In summary, it has been well known that the Wuhan lab of virology has been conducting coronavirus gain-of-function research. The extraordinary claim propagated by the CCP that the virus jumped from the horseshoe bat, which lives 2,000 kilometers away deep in caves, hibernates in winters, and was not sold at the wet market in Wuhan, to humans versus the obvious that it must have escaped from the lab doing research on precisely this virus, is repeated by Chris Whitty and the UK government. The CCP may well want to save face, but why is our government covering for the CCP? Sceptikat says, this makes no sense. Join us for part 6, Did we save the NHS? Thank you for watching. You can reach me, Sceptikat, at sceptikat@peerlessreads.com, Andrew and Kat see that, or privately at kat@sceptikat.com.